Hello everyone, welcome back to my long-term world. We recently made ourselves a proper mining outpost, a place for all our newly cured villagers to sleep, and we made a lovely little library for our Fortune 3 friend and for our Mending friend. Today I want to solve our food shortage issue and also finally move our animals somewhere a little bit nicer than where we've been keeping them. I think our cows finally deserve to not just be in this pen right by our nether portal. Our pigs and sheep deserve to have a little bit more space to roam about freely. And our chickens, well, that's kind of self-explanatory. So today we are going to be building a cozy little animal barn with some crop fields around it, and we're also going to have a little windmill silo so that we can store up all of the crops for our different animals to be able to feed them all. Now, as far as where I'm thinking we will build this up, I think that following this original villager pathway would actually be a great spot. Of course, we have to do quite a bit of terraforming, but if we follow this path up past this little villager house here, there is this little hillside that I think would be a great spot to place the barn on the hill, and then what we can do is have our animal barn up here and crop fields around it, lots of space for our animals to roam, and I think it's gonna look pretty good. So first things first, we gotta do some terraforming, so enjoy the montage. All right, we've gotten this whole area on top, this little hillside, all cleared out and terraformed, and now all we have to do is start actually building us this barn. I've already collected up some of the resources we'll need to get started, so we're going to be using spruce, mossy cobblestone, mossy stone bricks, a little bit of moss, and then for the second level, we're going to be using our calcite and our diorite. But for now, let's just get started with mapping out our walls. Now we're going to have our spruce beams be 4 tall, and then we are going to fill them in with some mossy cobblestone temporarily, and we're going to have this be a 3 wide spacing. We'll place down another spruce pillar. We'll go 1, 2, 3, place down another spruce pillar. That goes up 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring this one up 2, 2, 3, 4. We'll have another 3 and another spruce pillar going up 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's what the front looks like. And then for our walls, we're going to go down 9 long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then another spruce beam going up 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're just running our mossy cobble all the way down until we add another spruce pillar. We're going to move it out right there, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just finish off the wall like so. And in freecam, this is what it looks like on the hill right now, but we need to finish putting the walls up, get the roof on, and get to some decorating, so enjoy the time lapse. All right, we've got our barn completed. I really like how this looks. And if we look at the map, this still fits our area so well with the deep slate and the dark oak. And I'm really excited to just expand this. We're gonna add a windmill over here and then surround it with lots of wheat fields for all of our little cows. But since we now have the fences all put together for the cows, and we've got a nice little area for them to explore, I'm just gonna quickly grab some fence gates to place them down in here so the cows can come in here and all of our animals can be here and, you know, not escape. And then we shall bring our little friends into their new place and see what they think. Place these down right here, and then we'll keep those open to bring our cows over. And I think now we can take our wheat and move our cows into their new area. All right, now we officially have all of our cows. We've got chickens, pigs, we've got sheep in here, and we have a completed barn now that our barn is filled with our little animals. Now, the next task that we are going to take on is converting all of this land around our barn into wheat fields and mapping out the area that we are going to be adding our little windmill silo to. So I think what we'll do first is let's go move that current wheat field that we have, transform it into hay bales so that we can have some extra hay bales for our area, and then we'll create the layout for our windmill silo. All right, I was able to grab enough cobbled deep slate in the mines that we now can get started creating up our windmill silo to host all of the grain and crops we're going to have for our animals. The color palette that we're going to be working with is going to be cobbled deep slate variants, so we're going to use the regular cobbled deep slate. I'll pop my stone cutter back out. We'll also use a bunch of the deep slate bricks. And I want to use some of the polished deep slate. So these 3 blocks will be our walls, and then we are going to be using some of our stripped spruce for the side pillars on all of the wall sections. And once we're on the 2nd level and this is built up, we're also going to incorporate some unstripped spruce as well. For the windmill blades, we are going to be using a bunch of white wool. We're also going to use some fences and some trapdoors, so we will need to keep shearing our sheep in order to get enough pieces of wool to actually build this. But we don't need the windmill blades just yet, so let's get building up our windmill silo, shall we? All right, with the windmill blades attached and a bit more of the crop fields expanded to be in front of our windmill, we next need to work on the roof. And I'm thinking we're gonna use some moss because if we look in our map, we've got a lot of wooden roofs, we've got some deep slate roofs, but I kind of would like to incorporate more greenery into our roofs. So I think I'm going to mess around with adding in some greenery to the roof and make it more of a mossy, overgrown kind of cottagecore fantasy style roof. And I have not done any of this in creative, so we're just gonna kind of mess around with it until we find something that we like. All right, after a bit of decoration, this is what we have for our windmill and silo. I decided to add these iron trap doors and grindstones to kind of represent that this windmill is water powered, grinding up all of the wheat into flour or into the hay bales, kind of just giving it some lore and life. And then if we just go up here, this is just where we kind of have the rest of the, I guess, like the gear shaft that kind of goes all the way up to the windmill itself to get the power to then spin all of this around and make everything work. But we've just got a lot of decoration, some greenery, a spore blossom. There's a little door here so we can get out onto the balcony here. But I think this looks so cute for our area. And just looking at what this was before I transformed this to now is just so cool. I still do want to do a little bit more decorating. So what we are going to do is hop our way down here. And as you can see, I already started smoothing out some of this terrain, but I do think it is time to get rid of this little house here. So we are just going to start taking this down, removing it, and then being able to expand our little walkway. I'm gonna add some spruce slabs to make it an easier transition to get up to our barn and our little windmill. But we'll first start with taking this down and then continue on with expanding and flattening and terraforming a path. I've added some more fences and some nice little spruce leaves along our path leading all the way to and from our barn and silo, and I think this looks super cute. As we come up the hillside, you can start to see a little peek of the barn and you see the silo, and I think this is beautiful. I also expanded the wheat fields a little bit further down this way so that from further away, it looks like we have much larger expansive wheat fields in order to feed all of our little animals. But I think with this barn completed and all of our animal friends in it, and also having our little silo completed, there's only one last thing to do, and that's to name my dogs from your name suggestions in the comments. As for my little chest monster thing, I'll deal with that later, because name tagging doggos is much more exciting. Now, I have, in some off-camera time, been working to get some name tags, and I believe I have enough for all of the dogs we still have to name. Now, the first dog that we are going to name is this one, and we are naming them River because we already had made a little nameplate, but we just didn't have name tags at the time. So then we have Arlo, we've got River. This little guy is going to be called Maximilian from Rooster King, so thank you for that one. And then Aurora gave the idea for Todd and Copper, and I thought it would be kind of cute to give a little nod to the Fox and the Hound movie that we have Todd the Fox. And I think out of these two dogs, this dog right here looks more hound doggy, so this dog is Copper, which means we have one more dog name to come up with, so I'll let you guys figure that out in the comments. And I didn't forget about the little dog that was over there, over by the enchanting tower. We are going to call them Ghost. So thanks to Mr. Toast for that one. And now that we finally got some names for all of our little doggos, and we've got a lovely little barn that you can see the cute little windmill in the background, that's gonna do it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed seeing us building up the progress of our animal barn, finally getting a good place for them all to live, and building a little windmill and silo. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, like the video, and I will see you in the next one.